All right, so lesson 2 is all about the Industrial Revolution. So the Agricultural Revolution is going to lead and cause. Today we're going to talk about the causes of the Industrial Revolution and how it affected people. Remember, this is going to be part of those questions that we kind of regions, and affected always is the idea is how is it going to hurt or help people. All right, so a strike, a refusal to work organized by a body of employees as a form of protest. Typically, when you see strikes, you're talking about labor disputes, the growth of labor unions, all right? Urbanization, the process of turning a rural area or village into a town or city. When we see this word, we should be taking out the word urban, because urban is going to tell us that it's about a city. When we see rural area, we should be thinking things that are in like the country. So we're no longer going to have a lot of big countrysides. Instead, we're going to have urban cities. Domestic system. When we see domestic, we have to be thinking about home. System of manufacturing in which workers made products in their homes with raw materials supplied by merchants. So this is going to be the first step, is going to be the domestic system. Our second step is going to be the factory system, where we have workers, machinists, and raw materials all go to one location and create those products. Mass production is a key word for his. So mass, we are talking about a lot of something. And it's high volume, low cost manufacturing, or if identical items are produced. And the idea with this is the low cost, okay? So the lower the cost, the higher the profit. All right, when we get to CRQs, like this one, thank you, there it goes. When we get to CRQs like this one, it's asking us about the geographic context for the use of coal. Geographic context is basically asking you, why did this happen here? All right, so geographic context is like, what about the resources or the location caused this to be a thing? So in this case, what about the resource or location caused the use of coal power industrialization in Great Britain in the late 1700s? So you should be skimming through this document looking for basically what about coal allowed this to happen, or what about the location of coal allowed this to happen. Pause the video here, answer this question, have me check it, then move on. So a quick little timeline. Starts with the agricultural revolution, starts with lesson 1. All right, agricultural revolution, farming becomes easier because of technology. So we have technology like the seed drill that are going to allow that to happen. And because farming has become easier, we don't need as many farmers, so they move to the cities because they need new jobs. They can't be farmers anymore. Britain has a lot of natural resources, coal, waterways, and wood. Coal being super important, waterways being super important for the trade and the movement of goods. Then we're going to end up with new technologies like this steam engine, and steam engines are going to be used in factories as well as on trains to transport not only goods but people. So urbanization then happens, which is the growth of cities. We have more people, so they need a place. Because we have urbanization, cities are become really overcrowded. Because it's going to become overcrowded, we're going to end up with the spread of diseases. One of our big ones is going to be cholera, which you're going to watch a video with long working hours, low pay, unsafe working conditions, and ultimately what we're going to end up with are the development of labor unions, where workers strike, here's our key term for that, for better conditions. Laws are created, and basically from the Industrial Revolution, we end up with modern society. So the Industrial Revolution is going to leave, it is going to spread. It is going to spread through the rest of Europe as well as into Japan. We're going to get to that because remember, Japan's isolated. It's not going to be anymore. We're going to get to the United States and we're going to get into Germany. So pause here, make sure you have these notes, then come back to make sure you understand different pieces of it. Our most important ones really are going to be these three right here, the United States, Germany, and Japan. They're going to model a lot of their factories on Britain. However, the United States is going to focus on oil. Great Britain's still going to focus on coal for a very long time. The United States will use coal. We do have a lot of coal mines and a lot of use of coal. However, eventually when oil is discovered, in places like Texas and in the Midwest, you're going to see that shift. Germany's going to use railroads, but their big thing is going to be they're going to become a leader in heavy industry and weapons. And this is going to have a direct cause to World War I. When we come back to World War I, we're going to talk about the fact that Germany basically took this industrialization and was like, hey, we should just build bigger and badder weapons to kill each other with. Japan is eventually going to do this. They're going to leave their isolation. You're going to learn about that in lesson 7. And they extracted resources from their colonies and from China, which is the word imperialism, which industrial revolution is also going to cause. Causes. Urbanization. So we're looking at our causes and effects of urbanization and our causes and effects of labor unions. So again, urbanization is that growth of cities. So factories were built in towns, they leave the countryside to find work, and really what we're going to start to see happen is this. Migrants settle near the factories because they want to be close to their jobs, so they increase the size of cities, and cities are going to continue to expand as more and more people come to live there. However, though, living conditions in urban areas are frankly just terrible. So there is air and water pollution. They're going to live in filthy, overcrowded apartments, and we're going to have the huge spread of diseases. And you are going to see in a minute when you watch a separate video all about the spread of disease of cholera. Labor unions will form because of a lot of these dangerous working conditions and low pay. So workers are going to gather together. They're going to kind of like act as one group, fight for better rights. And then they will negotiate or strike to improvements in the working conditions. 2 of the big ones are going to be the 10-hour workday and higher pay.